We are joined right now by a former NFL safety. He played 10 years overall. He played 4 for the Texans. He played 6 for the Lions. He was a Pro Bowler and an All-Pro in 2014. He led the league in interceptions in 2014 as well. He is the co-host of the Believe in Lions podcast. He is Glover Quin. Glover, it's been a minute, but it's great to have you back on, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Good, dude, good. So let me ask you, as a former star player for the Lions who is still repping the D hard, how hyped are you about this Lions team and for the opportunity they have this weekend in Santa Clara in the NFC title game?
Man, this is crazy, honestly. It's just super exciting to see what this team has done, everything they've achieved and accomplished this year, and, you know, to be able to go out there and watch it live, be there in this moment to take it in. I mean, it's just exciting. You know, it's a long time coming, and I'm just really happy for these guys, man.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up, that you were out there to see it live. Like, you were at Ford Field for both playoff wins, and I saw you try to capture some of that incredible vibe on social media. Like, you were a part of some big wins in that stadium, but did anything in your career come anywhere near how loud and electric that joint has been in this playoff run?
I mean, I can't really say that we got anywhere close to that. I know we had 2016, I think we had a winner-take-all game against Green Bay, the last game of the season. That one was a pretty big game in that moment. But, I mean, the level that the stands are, the fans are right now, and the you know, the environment that's in Ford Field right now, it's unmatched to what, you know, I've seen or been a part of. And so it's just, like I said, it's a lot of pent-up energy, a lot of pent-up cheers that's coming out right now, and, you know, the guys are feeding off of it. It's just been a beautiful representation of the city, and I think it just shows that, man, you know, you just stick with it. Hard work eventually pays off. Sometimes it takes longer than others, but it eventually pays off, and it's just, you know, great for the city, great for the community. And like I said, I'm just really happy for these guys.
I agree with you. Glover Quin's joining us. I agree with you. I think it's great for the community. It's great for the city. I think that's a great football town that's been waiting a long, long time. You know what's interesting to me? Like, we talk about the Patriot way. We talk about, I had Kyle Van Noy on yesterday. We talk about the Raven way. It seems to me like there is now becoming a Lion way, but it's a different sort of way, right? Can you get into this? Like, it's a super physical kind of way. Like, it's a really physical brand of football. It may not be for everybody, but there's a certain way they go about doing it and the way they win. Is that the way you see it, and can you describe that and break that down?
I mean, I think, you know, Dan Campbell has came in and really put his stamp on this team. And Dan Campbell really represents the city of Detroit, really, in his whole demeanor, his work ethic, hard-nosed, gritty, blue-collar. That's the city of Detroit. You know, it's a bunch of hard-working people that just put their head down and just grind it out. And that's the type of team that he's built, and that's the type of culture that he's created. And I think when you play for the team like that, you're fighting for so much respect. You're fighting for so much national respect. So you just kind of have that chip on your shoulder, and you just go out and you just do things in a real Detroit type of way. And I think that's what the city is about. You know, the Detroit city doesn't get a lot of great reviews nationally. And so to have this opportunity to showcase how great the city is, how great this team has become, and just continue to have that chip on your shoulder is exactly what Dan Campbell is, exactly what this team is, and it's exactly what the city is.
Glover Quin joining us, breaking it down. So when you look at that matchup, as I mentioned, this is a tremendous opportunity. Now, San Francisco is a 1 seed and a 1 seed for a reason. What areas do you think the Lions can exploit against the Niners? Where do you give them advantage or the advantage over San Francisco?
You know, at this point, I think it's going to be a great matchup. It's going to be a tough game. I think, you know, the 49er team, their defense, they've been great all year. You know, offensively, they've been well. They have weapons all across the board. I think the thing for the Lions is they got to really play their game. They got to do what they've done to get here. They got to run the ball well. They got 2 incredible running backs in Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. They got to do that. Jared Goff has to continue to play exceptional in the playoffs. Hasn't turned the ball over yet. Making great throws, great reads, understanding what's going on. Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to have to do what he do. Sam Laporte is going to have to do what he do. I think they're going to have to get maybe 1 or 2 big plays over the top to Jamison Williams to help open up some things underneath and penetrate that defense. And then offensively, I think, if Deebo Samuel doesn't play, that really, really, really slows down the 49ers offense. And I feel like that gives the Lions defense, a little advantage over them. They got plenty of weapons as well. Christian McCaffrey, obviously, Brock Purdy, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, all these guys, they have guys. But Deebo Samuel is really what makes that offense tick. So I'm really watching to see what his status is going to be. And if he can't go, I think that definitely boosts the Lions a little bit more.
Man, you beat me to it. I was going to ask you about that because we don't know about his status, and we're not going to know about his status. But as many playmakers as they have, there's nobody like Deebo Samuel. Like, how different is that offense without him? We saw them go 0-3 earlier in the year. Trent Williams obviously also was down. That hurts. But how different is that Niner offense without Deebo?
They're very different. I think that just takes more eyes off of him and on to other guys like a George Kittle and like a Christian McCaffrey. And I think, when you look at a guy like Deebo Samuels who can take a short pass and turn it into a long touchdown, George Kittle is a very explosive tight end as well. But I think you're okay with George Kittle having 7 or 8 catches for 45 to 50 yards, maybe even 80 yards. I think you're okay with that if you can keep the big plays off of you from Christian McCaffrey and you can keep the big plays off of you from a Brandon Ayuk. And so I think they'll be okay with George Kittle having that type of day if they don't have to deal with Deebo Samuel, and we can slow down Christian McCaffrey. So adding Deebo Samuels now, that opens up more things for George Kittle because your focus really has to be on Deebo and all the different things they can do with him in the backfield, out wide. He's in the return game. He really opens up a lot. I mean, you look at the 3-game losing streak that the 49ers had earlier in the season, Deebo Samuels was absent for all of those games. So he really, really makes that offense go.
I'm not surprised, dude, but you are on it. Glover Quin joining us. Let me ask you about the running backs that you mentioned. 2 really good running backs. I want to ask you about Jahmyr Gibbs. A lot of draft analysts thought that the team reached in taking him number 12 overall. Do those same analysts owe him an apology? And what has he meant to the offense?
They definitely owe him an apology. But at the end of the day, I saw him, and I saw him in Alabama. I liked his style, I liked his game. And then when we drafted him, I was like, wow, that's a really, really, really good pick because you need guys like that. He's so dynamic in the run game, and he's dynamic in the passing game. And I think a lot of people get confused and think just because he's a fast guy, he's a quick guy, that he always has to be on the edge. You see the touchdown run he had against Tampa Bay. He's one cut downhill. He's on the safety, and he's outrun them to the end zone. And so he has the size to be able to run between the tackles. He has the quickness. He has the burst. He has the agility to be able to put one foot in the ground, i.e. Arian Foster back in the days that can put that one foot in the ground and get north and south, and now he's making the move on your safety. So Jahmyr Gibbs has definitely been a bright spot in this offense. I know they've complained about him not getting enough touches or things like that, but I've said all along they've brought him along nicely. They've preserved his body. He should feel really good right now. He hasn't got banged up all season, and I think he's in a spot right now to where he can really be, an X factor in his offense.
So, Glover, one last thought. I think Brad Holmes has done an amazing job of putting that roster together and doing so with some young players. What about rookie Brian Branch, who played your position? He's at safety. What do you make of the job he's done? He's done really, in my opinion, he's been great. What do you think, though?
Man, he's been incredible since game one. I mean, he had the pick six against Patrick Mahomes on opening day. He's been consistently good all year. Obviously you're going to have some games that are better than others, but he's been productive in almost every game that I've seen. He's played well. To be a safety and to be able to match up in the slot against some of these dynamic slot receivers, some of these big-time tight ends, and to be able to hold your own over the course of a season as a rookie is incredible. And I think he has a really, really bright future. He's a smart guy, loves football, loves to play the game. And those are the type of guys that Brad Holmes has there. He has guys that love to play. They're young. They're hungry. They got a chip on their shoulder, and they're talented. They're very, very, very talented. I mean, this is a great class. I mean, like I say, you look at these guys. You got Jahmyr. You got Brian. You got Sam Laporte. You got Jack Campbell. Like, this is a great great rookie class, and all those guys are contributing well for this team, and Brian Branch is right there at the top.
It's amazing. It looks very sustainable, too. He led the league in interceptions in 2014. He was a Pro Bowler that year. He was an All-Pro that year. He's got a podcast, the Believe in Lions podcast. Glover Quin, my guest. My man, you were always great to have on this show when you played. Great still as an analyst right now. Really appreciate you. Great to get caught up, and I hope we can do it again soon, man. Thanks so much.
All right, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Good talking to you, Glover, always. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell to be the first to know when we do upload a new video.